Would you have thought it? That when you attack and break up Hispanic communities, the cartels ain't happy. And as such, they're offering a $5,000 to $50,000 bounty for each and every ice that you ice, baby. I kid you not. And quite frankly, I say go for it. Now don't click off just yet, because I know. Evil begets evil and all that. I get that. But let's be fair. The biggest evil's in the White House. The orange von Schützenpanzer in the White House is the second biggest evil out there. The Paprika Palpatine. Now this video for me, after talking to my dear wife, is quite close to our hearts in some ways, this topic. Because I want to talk about ICE and how, why they are so feckin' violent. I know what you're going to say. They're just sadistic. Yes, they are. They're sadistic and they enjoy it. They get pleasure from it. For them, it's a carnal pleasure. They get sexual gratification for abusing women, grabbing hold of them, throwing them to the ground, ramming them up the back of their vehicles, shunting them, and then grabbing them out of their cars and throwing them on the ground. Hefty, fat men with their knees on the backs of their necks, pushing into the glass or the concrete. And they love it. Frail little women and sometimes girls. In fact, I saw one of the 18-year-olds just going to work, dragged out of her car, thrown on the ground, knee on the back of the neck. A George Floyd moment waiting to happen. Hispanic. I'm just so disgusted with it all. I'm also disgusted that people aren't standing up strongly. And although you might say to me that, Insurrection Act. Trump will invoke the Insurrection Act. He's going to do it anyway. And if somebody, for instance, was going to be detained and shoved in a detention centre, then shipped off to somewhere else or disappeared, half these people, we don't know where they're going. Half these people, we don't even know if they're unaliving them. Now, I won't put anything past this lot. They get too much gratification from what they are doing. This is a form of sexual selection. And it brings me on to it's very Darwinian. And he talked about sexual selection. Darwin. It's like fighting over your prey. Your mate, in this case. And the mating process for them is literally just abusing them. Manhandling them. Getting the upper hand. Being all powerful over women. And in some cases, little boys. Let's grind us still up. The whole thing is just disgusting. And these incels, because that's what they are. And if they are married, could you imagine what goes on behind closed doors? Can you imagine how their better halves are being abused? Could you imagine if, say, for instance, one of their children talks back? If they are happy to throw women to the floor, push their faces into the fucking grit. They clearly have no problem with, start child abuse and also beating up the missus. I'll explain in a moment what I meant about this was personal to me, and to my dear wife. I will explain. I will come clean on that because there is some history there for us. And it's kind of why I want to talk about this in some ways, because it just rings so true for us. And these people are just evil. They are evil, but there again, look who's in the White House. He's fucking evil. Plain and simple. And I'll tell you now, I've told you before, you left it too late. Democracy is dead. I said it months ago. I could see it coming. It was so fucking obvious. People would remind me, we've got the Constitution, Well, that ain't doing a lot of good, is it? No. Trump has undermined the Constitution with the Supreme Court, etc., etc. He's ignoring every fucking law. He's doing what every fucking wants. Now, these sadistic incels, groypers, if you like, many of them are. Because this form of aggression and force that's been used against women, for them, for their gratification, it's actually a form of rape. It's like they're practicing for rape. Rape. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm hyperbole? No. These people are clearly. I've watched so many of these fucking clips now. There's been hundreds of the bloody things of women being, especially women, being attacked and abused. Burly men literally grabbing hold of them and throwing them about like they're nothing. That reporter the other day, Brockman or something her name was, who was wrestled to the ground, handcuffed, hands behind her back, trousers halfway down her arse, showing all the butt. It's humiliating for these people. It's disgusting. But I tell you what, though, they have got no immunity. They might think they've got immunity, but the law will not protect them for what they are doing, these people. If for some amazing, miraculous thing that might happen, and Trump ends up being out of the White House, and the whole thing falls apart, and then you get a democratic government, an actual government, not a regime, well then maybe, just maybe, these people will find themselves in court and then behind bars. Because every single one of them are abusing people outside of the law. This is like war crimes there, everything. I mean, it's just... If the Democrats get in, they will abide by the Constitution, and everything we worked out via the Constitution and the law. And these people ain't safe. These ICE ain't safe. And they're probably not safe anyway, because the cartels are going to, go after them. Now, you know as well as I do, there's plenty of people out there who could do with an extra $5,000 when the fact the food has cost an absolute fortune. And they'd think twice about popping one off here and there. And do I have a problem with that? I am sorry if you think I am wrong, but I don't. Because these people are plain evil, they're the scum of the earth, and they should be removed from it. They do not deserve to be in civil society. They don't. They should be behind bars, and in fact, many of them, that's exactly where they came from. Where's the Proud Boys? We know. Where's all these other right-wing fascist groups? They're all working for ICE. And they're enjoying absolutely every minute of it, like that geezer from fucking Superman. You know? Okay, he hurt his wrist the other day. Now, I did mention to you about uh, about my history, or my wife's history, I should say. Now, when I first met my dear missus, okay, she was with a man called David Holland. Okay? He was her husband. He was a violent man, probably still is. He used to beat her up, drag her about by her tights, and then rape her. Okay, at the time, marital sex wasn't, marital rape wasn't illegal at the time, which just seems crazy to me. She was absolutely petrified. And we finally managed to get her, even the blooming solicitor at the time, you need to go back there. All right, and we'll sort of the pay. You've got to go back, Ivan. You know, like, what? No, she's at risk. And then, then we met. And I witnessed his aggression. I witnessed his violence. Tried it with me. Didn't work out for him, but anyway. I'm a vindictive bastard, me. Now, that's why I do these police ice agents. I got no qualms with them being iced. Meeting their match and maker. Got no qualms with that whatsoever. I don't give a shit about these people because these people don't give a shit about anybody. I care about the people that are being harmed. I care about people who just want to get on with their lives. Just want to live. Decent folk who deserve that opportunity. Not these complete and utter arseholes. Now, many of these ICE agents will be going to work in the mornings, and the people, the houses that they're leaving, they won't have a clue what they are doing, where they are working. They won't know that they're ICE until maybe they recognise them on the TV or on some TikTok or shorts videos somewhere. Or maybe America's Most Wanted once the Democrats get in. They won't know. The kids won't know. Maybe the cartels will put the fear of God into these people and then they'll give up. Now, many ICE agents are giving up. They're realising it's not for them. They're not happy about it. But then there's those who take sadistic pleasure in abusing these people. Now, I took some notes down here, right? When I talk, this is an adverse childhood study, and there's a study of around 17,000 odd people, 17,300, I think it was, and 11% of US adults have been of this study have been abused. 28% of them physical abuse. 21% have reported sexual abuse. Something's seriously wrong in the United States, isn't there? I know we have our problems here in France, or what have you, and also in the UK, but the United States is just ridiculous. You've got some major issues over there. Major issues. And you're going to have more of it to come. Because this ain't going to end. This isn't going to end with the Hispanics, Latinos, etc. No. The brown faces, and then the black faces, and then the white faces, and the US citizens are already being detained by ICE. And if they're not being detained and carted off somewhere to some detention centre, they're being charged for crimes that they have never even committed. Earlier today, I saw a little video clip of a poor youngish girl, an ice agent went straight up to her face and like bear sprayed her straight in the blinking eyes, like that far away. What is wrong with these people? Why would you do something like that? There's just so many of these clips. It's like they're arresting people, but the first port of call is to show violence and aggression to the people that they're detaining. They're not actually restricting their movements, other than the fact of actually basically standing on them. It's not necessary, that level of aggression, but they love it. It's sexual exploitation of people that they see as weaker than them. Horrible, horrible people. Violent people. The kind of people that you might think you want. If you are going to go into some kind of relationship with somebody, ladies, all right, just do your recce first before you submit to them. Because some of these people ain't worth a shite. They really ain't. Especially if you're in nightclubs and places like that to meet up with people or some random rough bar or what have you. The likelihood is these people ain't going to be what you expect them to be. Do your recce. Test them. Because they'll just abuse you. And I'm a bloke, and I know full well that a lot of men crave sexual exploitation. To get high out of it, let alone the sexual exploitation. It's a power thing. It's a power. It's literally power, isn't it? A power struggle. It's not a power struggle. It's a sexual selection. That kind of mating process, instinctual in many men. Most of us know how to control it because it's just common decency. Treat people with respect. But this is all Trumpism. The first time I ever heard Donald Trump say anything was the recording, because I didn't know anything about Donald Trump, was the recording of him on that coach, on that bus, where he says, I grab him by the pussy. And they don't do nothing. And all these people want to be like him. They just want him, just grab him by the pussy. And they're getting the opportunity to do so. Because not be funny, they are grabbing these women in many cases with, yeah, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm disgusted with what I'm saying. I am disappointed that not enough has been done. Oh yeah, I must mention the No Kings protests this weekend, which actually could be amazing. It could be so funny. I love the protests, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's enough. I really don't think it's enough because this is escalating. But, the more people get there, show the disdain for the current regime, yeah, go for it. It makes a lot of fucking sense. Is it going to stop the regime? No. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not. You need a working constitution for that to work. You see, without a protest, you don't have a democracy. And I would say you've already lost democracy. I reckon democracy in the United States is dead. For a start, the presidency was bought. That's a loss of democracy in the first place. Anyway, Australia, for instance, has put restrictions on the amount of money that a donor is allowed to give to a political party during campaigning. That is a start. Why not the United States? Why not the UK? Etc., etc., etc. Anyway, I'm going to go because this is really annoying me. Please hit the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel or bell icon. And I'm sorry the video's a bit long and it's a bit of a rant, but I'll probably get demonetized, but it is. It's just one of the things that sometimes things have to be said because it's frightening, and It must be so demoralising for decent people in the United States who just want to get on with their lives, and they've seen this go on, and they're going out in fear. It ain't just Hispanics, Latinos, etc., etc. It's everybody. In fear, they're shooting blinking pepper balls at you and shit like that, rubber bullets and God knows what else. At your head. It's just a total no-no. These people are just evil. And I would like to see the whole lot of them. I'll be honest with you. The whole lot of them, behind bars or in the ground. Anyway, toodaloo.